Thank you so much, Mysuru, for being here this evening. Really warm welcome to all of you to TiECon Mysuru 2026, what we have named as Reimagine Mysuru. And interestingly, I'm sure all of you, when you have to start planning for a conference, how many of you would raise your hands if the first thought was we should do a terrific conference? If would that be the first thought? Right? Let's just do a conference that best in class, best in the world, right? We decided we won't do that. The reason being, if you start thinking too much about the conference itself, then that becomes the spectacle. It's like having a great wedding and then having a very bad marriage after that, right? It happens very often these days, unfortunately. So we said, let's not focus too much on the conference per se. Of course, the conference is a conduit for us to do bigger and better things in Mysuru. But how can we actually do things that actually has a more telling, long-lasting effect on Mysuru? That seemed to be the common viewpoint that people in board and many others involved in the conference opined on. And that's exactly the reason why we actually named this conference as Reimagine Mysuru, right? And we want to reimagine this in two different ways. One is, can this be reimagined inside out? And can this also be reimagined outside in, right? And I'll explain to you what this means. I think many people who live outside Mysuru, if you meet any of them and you say you're from Mysuru, the first reaction is, wow, such a beautiful city. You're blessed to be there. Or they'll say, wow, it's a retiree paradise. I'm sure you're enjoying your quality of life. This is the general pattern of feedback that you'd get from people who live outside Mysuru. And people who live inside Mysuru, understandably so, a lot of them are very, very proud about the city, about its royal heritage, about its greenery, about its proximity to everything that's available, agricultural belt, so on and so forth. But somewhere in that pride, I think, comes a sense of complacency also. You know, we are very happy where we are. And probably people continue to, ride this wave along. And we thought maybe we should start thinking, how can we be more relevant to the global ecosystem that's rapidly evolving, right? And these are the two reasons why we said, let's come up with a theme called Reimagine Mysuru, where we inspire our own people to start thinking, how do we keep the cultural fabric and ethos intact and still be much more relevant in the world of IT and AI and everything that's evolving around us? And two, can we really showcase Mysuru as a model city for people who are outside Mysuru to not just come and live here, but actually, create a meaningful, professional, industrial, entrepreneurial ecosystem, right? So that was the genesis. And then we started reimagining various things in the conference, right? Why should we do it in the same venue? Can we do it differently? Why should it be only for half a day or one day? Can we do it for 2.5, 3 days? Because, if you want to do a wedding, do it like the Ambanis, right? There's no point in just doing a small wedding and people forgetting about it, right? So let's be audacious with what we're thinking, seemed to be the common thought. See, expense is one thing. The other thing is, can you create impact? Honestly, to do something of this scale needs tens of lakhs of rupees, and thanks to all our sponsors who have helped us. But we felt it's an investment that is very much needed, and the city deserves it. So we said, let's go all out, reimagine every possible aspect of what we can do using this conference. And one of the key themes that we came up with in terms of reimagination was, it's great to have an applause at the end of every session, but what is more important is the action that comes out of it, right? So action supersedes applause is the common backbone on which we have themed the whole program. You will see various aspects of this reimagination throughout the program. I'm sure some of the pitch fest, etc. you saw. For example, we were not interested in having another pitch fest where it was just a competition in front of a jury and people get first, second, third, and then they forget, their startups after that. We felt we should put them in front of investors, make them literally shiver in their legs, because when you present in front of investors, it's a very different ballgame, right? So these are some examples of how we thought we should reimagine this conference. I'm really, really excited that all of you, in many, many ways, have contributed to this reimagination, either being part of planning or by attending these sessions. And I'm hoping to see more and more full houses through the next 2 days. More importantly, we also felt that as part of the reimagination, we should not lose the grounding that we have to culture and heritage, because that is the underpinning sentiment of the city. We have so many businesses that are rooted in culture and heritage, and we thought we should actually spend a full evening talking about how do we reimagine culture and heritage through the lens of entrepreneurship, right? So what you're going to see for the next, I would say, 2 hours or so is not an art program, but it's going to represent various facets of performance art, visual art, it could even be board games, etc. And how do you change the conventional thinking on some of these things and actually bring an entrepreneurial lens to these things? In the last 2 hours, some of you have seen how some Kamsale artists or Veergasi artists have performed, right? It's great to admire, take some selfies and go back home. The question is, can we all be ambassadors to take this craft to the broader world? I'm sure there are people here from other chapters of TiE. Murli, are you here from Hyderabad, Bukapatnam? No, Anshuman is here. Anshuman, some of them have gone for a change. See, I would love to see many of these artists actually go and perform in different TiE chapters all over the world. And TiE could be just one of the conduits. Why can't a Kamsali or a Veeragasi performer actually go across the world and showcase the art, right? For example, Mysuru paintings. All of you know the intricacy involved in Mysuru painting. But unfortunately, I think there is a shortage of imagination in what all you can do using Mysuru painting. Does it always have to be related to spiritual and religious aspects? Can you take Mysuru painting and depict a modern theme? Is a question that comes to my mind and probably many people's mind. So what I would like for all of you today to do for us is take a look at it from the lens of an entrepreneur and see how some of these things can inspire us to do more and better things. If any of you have any ideas that come up based on your experience over the last few hours or the forthcoming experience between today and tomorrow, please drop us a note on how you think the entrepreneurship bridge can be created for some of these art forms. So before I end, I want to just leave all of you with a small note. Thinking audaciously, we thought we also need a mascot for the whole program, for the whole conference, that truly is an embodiment of the spirit of, thinking of the unimaginable. Looking at the sky and say, nothing can limit me. I just want to fly. Mysuru has to fly high and soaring without any limits. So that's why we came up with a whole mascot called Vyoma. Vyoma, as you know, in Sanskrit means limitless, ether, and all that. And Vyoma also signifies the spirit which is just set free. And as many of you know, Vyoma is actually an inspiration from Ganda Berunda. Ganda Berunda is the two-headed eagle that is well known in the Mysuru dynasty. So we have reimagined even that mascot, and we're calling it Vyoma. And before I hand over the stage back to Kanchana, I would love for you to see a small depiction of how we have reimagined and why Vyoma is the mascot for us. Thank you.